Welcome to episode 25, The Ultimate World Cruise. Talking about this with Leah and her husband Steve. We're going to get into the good, the bad, the ugly, everything. 60 different countries, over 9 months on a cruise ship. I reckon there's probably some soap opera fucking drama that goes along with all of this. We'll see if I can get her to open up about it. Check it out. All right. Welcome, everybody. Welcome to another unbelievable episode of Listen, Motherfucker. Today, we are speaking with Leah B., and we are going to dive into, among other things, we're going to dive into the ultimate world cruise, which, and obviously throughout this whole process, you can interrupt me whenever you want. The ultimate world cruise was a 9-month-long cruise that you and your husband Steve went on. How long ago did it end?
It ended on September 10th of 2024.
Got it. So when I'm sitting here thinking about this, most of us fantasize about quitting our 9 to 5 and sailing around the world. I don't know anyone that maybe hasn't thought about that, whether you're watching movies or think of TV, whatever, right? Everyone has thought about that.
Yeah.
And so you actually did it in over 9 months, saw dozens of countries and an endless amount of excursions, and you have one floating city, one husband, probably some weird buffet food, and I have so many questions. Before I dive into my questions, do you need to on your own drop a little backdrop or a little?
I can tell you how it started.
Yes, I would love to know. How the hell do you all of a sudden, you know what, we should just disappear for 9 months?
So this goes actually back to my probably mid-20s. I first heard about, and I don't even remember which cruise line it was, but they were doing a 3-month-long cruise, and it was for all of the religious capitals of the world. And that just sounded fascinating to me. And, when I was in my 20s, I didn't have the money for that kind of stuff. And so I was working on a project in Guam, I think, when I first found out about it. And I kind of shared the info with some friends, and I shared it with my husband. And we kind of had a plan for working for the next 5 years. And I was still kind of debating, we had the plan for the 5 years, but I was like, I'd really like to do this. And he was kind of adamant about not doing something like that yet. And then he had a heart attack.
Yikes.
And that changed his perspective on everything.
I reckon that it did.
Yeah.
Are you semi-retired?
I am. We're both fully retired now.
You're both fully retired.
That heart attack retired him. So both of us used to work mostly overseas. Doing I did a lot of construction project management, also, military government kind of stuff. And for both of us, when you work overseas, you have to pass a physical. So he wasn't going to be able to pass a physical anymore after the heart attack. So he literally, when we were in the hospital, I told him, "You're done. You're not working anymore. You're retired." And then I had to finish my project up in Guam, and I retired as soon as we finished that.
Got it. And literally that lit the fuse of, and so from that moment, is that when you first started researching what type of world cruises were out there and you settled on the ultimate, or you already had this,
Already had it. That's the one I saw. That's the one I wanted to do.
Got it. Yeah, life-changing events, right? How some things just And
Yeah.
not we don't need to go into my thing, but I was diagnosed in 2018 with uh, something that changes your life. It isn't terminal, but it definitely changes things. And within a couple of years, I closed my business because it wasn't worth the stress. I sold my hot rod and all my cool stuff and told Tiffany, the kids are gone. I'll have a cool car again when I fully retire. Until then, let's just travel and actually make memories instead of me driving around in a cool car and Tiffany tolerating it because she's my wife and she loves me, and me getting me getting the most out of it. So yeah, I
So,
can. I
so where are you at then? Are you semi-retired then?
No, no.
No.
I wish that I was. I sold all the stuff from the company to probably my biggest competitor, who's just an amazing dude, and I took 6 months off, got my head right, and then uh, he
And
asked
then
me if I
COVID.
wanted to. What's that?
I said, and then COVID.
Yeah, right. And so, well, me shutting everything down was in COVID,
Yeah.
and one of the last schools that we had done was during COVID, and man, just that whole thing, you know what I mean? That'll go down in history books. But
Yep.
so yeah, I'm not retired. I look to retire, by the time I'm 60 and I'm 53. So I got 7 more years of trying to put myself in a better position.
It's awesome if you can do it.
Yeah, I bet.
I haven't regretted it for a minute.
I can't imagine that you will. All right. Well, so I have on my notes here. I have
Yeah.
segment one called the decision and the departure, and so we just covered what made you guys say fuck it. So we understand that. And one of the questions I had was, what did your I mean, knowing that that you're gone for 9 months, what did the two of you have to do to prepare life? Knowing, everyday normal life prior to you embarking.
Mhm.
What does that look like?
So, remember me explaining that we, in general, work overseas?
Yep,
So we've already done that. We
got it.
literally we leave home for 6 months to a year at a time, and you have to think of different things for each location you're going. So I don't think it's a secret. I've both my husband and I worked in combat zones. We actually met in Afghanistan, oddly enough.
Got
Um,
it.
so how they handle mail, how they handle prescriptions, how they handle transportation in and out of the country is a little bit different for each location. Visa requirements, all of that garbage. So we were fairly familiar with most everything. The hardest part was mail. And so, like, if you don't have a trusted person at home to collect your mail for you, open up the important stuff, and let you know what's going on, it's a problem. But we had that, so yay. Um, the prescriptions we knew were going to be difficult, especially after his heart attack. He's on a lot of meds now. So what there was a couple things that really helped that we didn't know about before. You can do what's called a vacation override. And when we explained to the insurance company that we were going to be gone for 9 months, it took a couple of months to get all of the vacation overrides in, but we managed to get 9 months worth of medications before we left.
Got it. So you just stockpiled everything, knew that you had it, and it wasn't going to be a shit
Right.
show.
And
Got
we
it.
had the option, if anything had happened, well, the cruise ship actually, they had at least one, I think actually two doctors on staff for emergencies, but you could see them for regular things. And they actually had a dentist on board the whole time. Because, I mean, think about the number of old people on a ship like this for 9 months. Somebody's cracking teeth every day. But they usually have doctors on ships, but they don't normally have dentists. So that was like a really huge
Yeah,
benefit. I mean,
that
we had
is
to pay for
interesting.
it, but it was it was cheaper than going to the dentist in the United States.
Yeah, I can only imagine. And
Yeah.
so, yeah, so you obviously, it's not like you had to save up for and liquidate all your assets and, hey, let's just change our lives and go for a world cruise. Your life had kind of already been similar, anyways, in that you were
Yeah. And
flying
even
around
living
the
in the
globe.
confined spaces. I mean, I mean, in Afghanistan, my first room was like a 10 by 8, I think, maybe.
And how long were you in it?
Well, I was in Afghanistan for 2 years, but I got promoted and got a bigger room after about 6 months. So,
Got it. Well, hey, congratulations.
thanks.
Nice job. So, did when you started telling friends and family that this is what was going on because of what had happened in your personal life and with Steve, was everyone just high-fiving saying it's about
Oh,
time, or were some people saying you guys are fucking crazy?
um, everybody was just really happy for us. I don't know that we got any high fives, but it was like, man, that's amazing. I wish I could do that. We heard a lot of that, and I kind of
Yeah,
knew once we paid for the trip, and I knew for sure we were going. I knew this was going to be interesting to a lot of people who don't even know us. So I kind of started prepping for that.
yeah, for sure. And we definitely, you had mentioned something in uh, our correspondence leading up to this that we definitely are going to get to, and which is, and there's no reason to wait. So you started your own YouTube channel. So did you? How long were you on the boat before you started the Frugal Vagabond?
I started it about a month before we left.
Got it. Okay.
So I did YouTube and TikTok, and I had the day we got on the boat, I already had 1,000 followers on TikTok, and on YouTube, I think I had about 100.
Yeah. So I mean, it's just the subject matter alone. People just freak out and just, oh my god, I need. Yeah.
I went. I recorded a single 60-second video that was, and at the time I thought everything on TikTok had to be under 60 seconds, so it was 59 seconds, whatever. And I talked really fast through the whole thing, and I went, "Here's exactly what the cruise is. Here's what we get. Here's what's included. Here's what's not included, and here's what it here's what it is."
Yeah.
And that single video hit 45,000 views on TikTok within 24 hours.
What?
Yeah. And that
Yeah.
was, and again, this was a month before we left. So
That's
once I saw
incredible. Yeah.
that happening, I was like, okay, this is going to be bigger than maybe I even thought it was. So
I'm still incredibly unpopular. So thank you for being willing to to come on here and share your story.
me and Venus are raising your raising your
You
eye.
are. You are. Yeah. So, all right. So you had mentioned at some point that, well, you said you had a couple of stories to tell me about the social media, whether it was the one that went viral and turned into something that you weren't enjoying, and just talking about the social media aspect of it in general, I guess.
Right. So I don't know how to explain this. I don't like to join groups, but I like to create groups, if that makes sense.
Okay.
So I knew that I wasn't going to be the only person under the age of 60 who was going to be posting to social media. I knew a lot of the other passengers was going to be doing that. And if you're not familiar with cruising, and I wasn't at the time, apparently every single cruise ship, and or not just the ship, but each voyage has a Facebook group. Someone who's going on the cruise creates a Facebook group for that specific sailing, and there was one that was created for this one. I joined it, and when I recognized a lot of people had blogs or YouTube channels or whatever, I was like, it would be probably a really good idea for us to get together once a week or so and compare notes, talk about what's working and what's not. So I asked who wanted to join, and I created it, and it was great until one of our members kind of went off the deep end and did a 4-hour live stream.
On purpose?
Yes, on purpose. I mean, he was drunk, and was like super offensive to like almost everybody in the group. I don't think he may have named one or two of them specifically, but just in general, talking about race and LGBTQ stuff. And so
Yeah,
before that,
not a smart move.
no, he got kicked out of the group. I mean, I don't know if he even noticed or whatever, but we had to create a new group without him in it, basically, because the other one was a public group, and I had posted a QR code for people to join. And then, interestingly, I found out that there were a couple people who weren't even on the ship who were part of our group and were basically listening to our conversations. And so, when we started the new group, we kicked them out too.
Yeah.
So we still met, throughout the entire length of the trip. We didn't necessarily meet every week because there were sometimes it was just too busy. Nobody had the bandwidth to do it. But for the most part, we met every week or so. And then, so the other downside was on day 48, I recorded just this random nothing video about cruise ship food. People ask about this all the time. It's a source of endless questions and fascination. And again, because Steve and I have worked so many contract jobs, we're used to eating at dining halls, where you don't get to cook for yourself. You eat what there is. And it doesn't matter how great the chef is, wherever you are, after about a month, you get sick of it.
Yeah.
And so I was just kind of talking about that, and I had some theories about why I think this happens. The illusion, when you're at home, you have the illusion of control or the illusion of variety. But the reality is a lot of us eat the same stuff over and over again for
True.
lunch and breakfast, for sure. Maybe not dinner, but for lunch and breakfast, we generally eat the same thing over and over again. So I got slammed. Like, people were stitching my video and saying like, oh my God, the entitlement, and oh my God, there are people starving in Gaza, and oh my God, you look like you ate the entire ship, and oh my God, your skin is disgusting. And it was just like, wow. Like, I've never had that much hate thrown in my direction within a 48-hour period. It was wild.
Yeah, I can't imagine. And so, how did you recover from that and still want to keep doing Frugal Vagabond?
Well, so at first I didn't really think a whole lot. I mean, I largely found it funny. I mean, especially the you look like you ate the whole ship. That's hilarious.
Yeah, right. I would welcome, but I'm kind of a glutton for punishment. If I had 2 million people want to line up and tell me what a piece of shit I am and all the different reasons why, that I go on and read, and I don't have very many comments, and most of the funny ones are from TikTok, actually, on the shit that I post.
Because people are mean as hell on TikTok.
Oh yeah, they're like, please put 2,000% tariffs on podcast equipment. Or I mean, the shit's funny. I mean, regardless of me being insulted, hey, whatever. I mean, I'm my own biggest fan. That's never changing. So bring the insults on. I mean, if you watched it long enough to insult me, well, you did me a favor. So give me an insult.
I'm also a woman who has been in the construction and military contracting industry for my entire adult life. So if you don't have a thick skin, you don't make it there,
Yeah.
But so I largely ignored it. I engaged a lot, actually, with people back and forth. I didn't necessarily, people who were outright being mean, I didn't engage with them a whole lot other than just acknowledging that there was a comment. And the reason I do that is because I made a ton of money off that video.
Right, I can imagine.
I made about, in the first month, I made $1,800 off of that single video.
And how long
And,
was the video?
um, I don't know, 2 or 3 minutes long.
Yeah.
Now that was what I made on TikTok. I don't think I was monetized. In fact, I know I wasn't monetized on YouTube yet by then. I think I had the subscribers, but not the watched hours, or I had one thing, but not the other.
Okay.
I don't remember which one. But, so I wasn't going to say I wasn't going to respond to it at all. But then, there was a couple things that happened both on the ship and with some folks back home that had to do with bullying. It was kind of a little thing, kind of a medium thing, and a really awful thing. And I was like, I'm gonna go ahead and respond to this, because I know there's a whole lot of people out there who can't or don't or won't stand up for themselves.
Yep.
So I spent about 2 hours making my own memes that I had running behind my head, because I recorded it in front of a green screen. This one was 7 minutes straight of me talking about bullying and about how ridiculous everybody was, and about how I'm laughing all the way to the bank.
Right.
And that one didn't get as many views, for obvious reasons, because it didn't get quite the engagement of the other one. But that was probably the most fun video I have made. I can't even count. It probably took me 2 hours to write the script, because I did it because there was no pausing. I wrote an entire script. I did the whole teleprompter thing, and I really enjoyed doing that. And I managed to do it without a single curse word, which is rare.
Really?
Yeah, that's really rare for me.
Yeah, that would be a rewarding experience to know why you were doing it. You know what I mean?
Yep.
Well,
So I kept doing it, but I mean, over time, I guess the thing that bugged me the most, more so with TikTok than the other social media platforms, but again, people on TikTok are really mean, and it's also, you get really into comparison mode, because think about, I'm literally on the ship with 15 other people who are doing the exact same thing I am,
right.
but in a slightly different way. And not to go into too much detail about how TikTok pays people, but not everybody makes the same for the same time watched. And
Yep.
everybody has a different rate. And so all of our rates were different, and all of our views were different. And because my videos were very old school compared to some of my younger counterparts, I wasn't getting as many views, and just the comparison part. And this was a great video. Why did it only get 1,000 views? This other one got 17,000.
Right.
That sucks. And so that kind of drags on you mentally after a while. So what I did to kind of get away from that is I took myself away out of the monetization. That you can, on certain platforms, if you don't want to be monetized, you don't have to be, and you can just take yourself out of the program. So that's what I did. That helped. I stopped caring.
Yeah. Yeah, I can see that for sure.
And
Yeah, I don't have enough people. I don't have enough people interested in anything I have to say to even know what monetized means, or or what it's like. Maybe someday, but like I said, I will remain my biggest fan. I'm fine with that. And
Can I reference back to one of your other videos that I watched?
sure.
So Venus and you were talking about egos, and you were
Yeah.
talking about how you were in high school, and she was like, well, maybe not a whole lot's changed, and that's what I love about you. I have this thing too where, like, I don't know if I'm as vocal about it, but I have a very big ego too, and I really wish I could bottle that up and hand it out to people who have self-confidence issues.
Yeah.
I would make $1 million, and I would make the world a better place.
For sure. Right.
So keep
Just
that
a
in
little-
mind.
And it all boils down to to me, it boils down to me being comfortable with who I am.
Yeah.
And sure, we all have weak moments or weak situations that we're a little bit vulnerable, but in general, I'm not really vulnerable, except in certain situations with a very limited amount of people. So
Sure.
in general, to the world, the confidence comes from not giving a fuck, that I'm going to do how
Yeah.
I do me, and I'm comfortable with that. And I'm not, I know for a fact I'm not a bully, that I'm not disrespectful, I'm not vulgar, you know what I mean? I am all of those things in the right setting, but
Yeah.
not in a way that's hurtful to someone else, because I'm completely against that, you know what I mean? And so I think that you're exactly right. I wish there was a way that when you think about motivational speakers
Mhm.
and investments and all these different things, it's like, man, in today's world where we need more tolerance and less bullying, and you teaching the younger generations that have unfortunately grown up having no idea how to resolve a conflict, that
Yeah.
if there's nothing else you give them, it's at least being able to learn how to be comfortable with who you are and not be so kicked in the gut by people having a different opinion, I guess. I don't know.
Yeah. No, I'm right there with you. I wish making the world a better place, right? If we could.
Yeah. All right. So I will resist I'll resist the temptation to start a political conversation.
Okay. Probably
yeah.
leave that to the end so you can cut it if we don't want it in.
We don't need that. So I'm going to go back to life at sea.
Okay.
Um, describe what's a normal day on board? What does routine look like when you were at sea like that?
Okay. So a normal port day would be us getting up anywhere between 6 and 8 a.m. and either getting in line to get off the ship, or we would have to go to the theater to meet whatever tour group if we had one booked through the ship. Um, if you had a book through the ship, you always met in the theater. If you didn't, you had some other arrangements to make. You just got off the ship and got yourself to wherever the tour operator was. Sometimes we just walk around a town and not have anything in particular planned. We'd stay out until 4 or 5 p.m. and then normally, because we had to be back by then in order to get on before they pulled the gangplank up,
yeah.
and have dinner. Most people did shows. Shows are a really big part of cruising. We didn't go to very many. I'm not a very show interested kind of person. We went to some that looked interesting. um, Royal Caribbean did a really good job of bringing in local artists, local singers, local dancers, local, whatever. And every so often they would have what they would call folkloric entertainers. So they would bring in something that was specific to the country that we were in, and we would get a folkloric show, something of their
Got it.
traditional music and their traditional dress, and those are really neat. But after 9 months, all the juggling and the magicians got really boring.
Yeah, so that's what I was just going to ask, is that over the course of, I mean, shit, even 1 month, even 2 months, I was wondering if they were somehow like exchanging the entertainment via a port, like that
Yes.
whole group of people like isn't even on the ship anymore,
Yep.
and we have new people trying to entertain us, because exactly that. How many times can you watch the same shit?
Yeah. So they
Yeah.
did. Now, there were a couple of people who are on, if not for the entire length, for most cruise ship um, contracts are 6 months. So this cruise had a very interesting dynamic in that when you get on a cruise ship, the staff lives there. They work there, they live there. They're there longer than you are. So you're in their home.
Yeah.
It wasn't that way for this cruise. It was the opposite, because it was our home. And we
Yeah.
were there longer than, there are very few people who got to stay the whole 9 months. Most people rotated out after 6.
Interesting.
Yeah.
And what was the cruise ship drama like? In other words, obviously, over the course of time, you are getting used to seeing the same faces and bumping into the same people. And I mean, is there gossip? Is there cliques? Are there secrets? Is there high school fucking drama? I mean, what was that portion of the whole thing like?
So I'll address this in terms of social media, because one of the reasons why this cruise in particular went viral on TikTok is because everybody was expecting a reality show. And so the first statement I would make is, even in reality, people don't act like that. The producers of those shows have to stir the pot in order to get people to behave that way.
Yeah.
So now that being said, were there some people I met that I didn't like? Yeah, quite a few of them actually. But
Okay.
when you're in a ship that holds 2,000 people, so if I don't want to run into those people, I can pretty much guarantee I won't. You know, it's not if the ship was big enough to avoid people you didn't like, or at least not have to be around them, but it was also small enough that it was kind of intimate. And you could make, I mean, I made lifelong friends as well.
Got it.
People that I never would have met, any other way.
And did some of the lifelong friends that you met and became close, would you share stories about that bitch or these people, or did you see this, or did you hear that, or did you, as a person, do you avoid that kind of shit?
We had several also different group chats going on. So there was a lot of that happening, not necessarily face to face, but 100% in the group chats.
Got you.
If well, just as an example, did you ever follow anybody else who was on the cruise besides me?
Nope.
Okay, so there's a couple, Tam and Bobby. So Bobby is male to female transgender, and Tam is a they them, and they got bullied in different ways by different people, or just treated very poorly a lot. And so whenever that would happen, we would definitely hear about it in the group chat.
Yeah.
Not that didn't happen to other people too, but it, for obvious reasons, happened to them more often than anybody else. But it
That
was
sucks.
kind of, I don't know exactly how they felt about it, but I like the fact that they had a group of like-minded people who, you were already friends with, people we got together once a week ish, and could say, hey, this stuff is happening, and we can maybe help do something about it. Because a lot of times, I mean, unless it's a full-blown fight, the cruise lines don't really like to get involved in that kind of stuff.
Right.
But when 10 of us are complaining about it instead of just 2, I like to think that helped somewhat.
And you felt that it did if it needed to?
I think so.
Got it. And what are you comfortable describing the craziest or weirdest passenger you encountered?
Trying to think. The one I told you about that went off the deep end on, the live stream, that comes pretty close to being the craziest.
And that was fully intentional. Intentional because they were drunk?
I think they regretted it afterwards, but I don't think they backtracked on anything they said.
Wow.
Yeah.
And what is something about cruise life that nobody tells you? Was there anything that surprised you?
It was weird about how possessive people got over the laundry rooms.
Really?
So normal cruise ships don't have laundry rooms.
Yeah.
But for those of us who were there for 9 months, and also, like, if you've ever had an industrial place doing your laundry, you generally don't want them touching your clothes. It all gets done in 150-degree water, and your stuff gets thrown in with everything else, and everything comes back gray and 3 times smaller because it's shrunk, So you definitely don't want to throw any delicates in there. So they actually Royal Caribbean converted several rooms. There was one on the 8th floor, 7th floor, 3rd floor, and I think there was one other where they had like 3 washers, 3 dryers. And, typical laundry room etiquette not being followed, set a timer, get your stuff out when it's done so people don't have to wait for you. Well, There were some people who appointed themselves laundry room monitors and would sort of police those things. I don't really know why. And it only happened on certain floors, not like on other ones, it was much more lackadaisical.
Yeah.
And people
Yeah,
were,
and that's what's fun. I can see the person that would do, and I mean, there's a small part of me that gets what's going on because I wouldn't react well to multiple. Me finding out the same person was having no respect and leaving shit laying around. I mean, I wouldn't react well to that either. So I
yeah.
mean, I kind of get where they're coming from with the laundry room Nazi, but I just think about what their neighborhood looks like or what kind of neighbor they are and on neighborhood watch. And I
Yeah.
mean, it's just, they're a left lane camper on the freeway trying to jack me up because I want to do 76 and a 70.
Well, and I guess so. The bigger issue, like I'm with you. I get that too. If I'm waiting an hour for somebody to take their clothes out, I'm angry.
Yeah.
But also, I don't wait an hour. If it's been 15 minutes and you haven't come to get your clothes and I need to dry mine, I'm taking your crap out and I'm putting mine in. The
100%.
difference, the difference is nobody threatened to break my legs if I touch their clothes again,
True.
and that
That's,
happened.
come on.
No, I mean not. I don't think it happened face to face, but it absolutely happened in the chat in
Wow.
one of the laundry room group chats.
Yeah. Morons. I don't get it.
So yeah, I
All
guess.
right.
Go ahead. What's next?
Well, let's talk about the world outside. You know what I mean? I mean, and I'm going to say top three, but you could give me 1, 2, 10. I don't care. When you think about all the places you went, is there a handful of them that stand out that you either were looking forward to and it met your expectations, looking forward to and it failed, or something you were surprised by? Basically, just what were the most significant interactions that you had on your ports of call?
So I actually took some notes earlier today.
Okay.
So I've got stuff here. So Antarctica was probably the best, which is feels kind of surprising because we grew up in Alaska, so we've seen a lot of this stuff before.
Yep.
Um, for me, a big part of wanting to go on this was wanting to actually land on Antarctica and put my feet on that ground. And that didn't happen because it was really ambiguous in all the marketing on whether it said we got to go to Antarctica, but it also said we were cruising through there. So up until about 3 months before we left, I wasn't even sure if we were going to get to set foot on it. I found out we weren't, that really disappointed me.
Yeah, I bet.
The glaciers, the floating icebergs, and everything were so, oh my God, so beautiful. So, and it was really a standout. And even though I've seen similar things, being from Alaska, being around so many people who have never seen that before, it's like seeing it for the first time through their eyes.
Yeah.
So it was really easy to get excited about it again. And my husband too. He's not been to Alaska yet. We're going this summer. But it was amazing to see him see it for the first time.
It is pretty cool. It reminds us of how spoiled we were, I guess, at the stuff that we got to consider normal,
Right? That's boring. I see that every day.
Yeah, exactly.
Machu Picchu was a disappointment because we didn't get to go there. So there was the government had done something about something to do with the tourism industry, and they had farmed a bunch of stuff out to third-party people instead of hiring local or whatever to handle some tourism stuff. So when they found out we were coming, they went on strike and had literally, I guess, had people laying across the train tracks. So you couldn't get up to Machu Picchu by train anyway. And the park itself was closed off. They started the protest about 3 or 4 days, I think, before we arrived. And they settled the protest with the government the day before we left. but it was still too late for us to go. Because we
And
we'd missed
the protest wasn't about you, right? It wasn't about the
no, but
world.
they knew no, but they knew they were going to get national attention if they blocked the Ultimate World Cruise from being able to go there, and
Got
that's what
it.
happened. And they
That's what
got their
happened.
way, and yeah,
And you were
and I
pissed.
that yeah, well, I've been, but my husband hasn't. So now we have to go back.
Yeah. Oh, poor you. Poor you.
Yeah. Well, I mean, these were included in the price of our ticket. We had 7 New World Wonders that were included in the price of our ticket. Machu Picchu was one of them. So the flights, the hotels, the ticket, the tour, everything was paid for.
Got it.
So when we go back, we're going to have to pay for it again. So
That sucks.
that was a bummer.
Yeah.
Tokyo was another one that was actually really impressive. We didn't, even in the itinerary, it says Tokyo, but we were actually in Yokohama. And the port there was just really gorgeous. Tokyo was incredible. Once we figured out the metro system, it was super easy. Japan has everywhere we went in Japan has the best fried chicken I've ever tasted anywhere. Like, they have figured out the secret sauce to fried chicken. Best ever. The metro was really easy. Like I said, once we figured it out. Subic Bay in the Philippines was actually kind of surprising to me. So I've worked in several places very near the Philippines, and where we get a lot of stuff from the Philippines or from Singapore or whatever, because I've worked on random islands in the middle of the British Indian Ocean.
Yep.
And because Subic Bay is a former U.S. naval base, I always expected it to be some rundown, not taken care of, full of toxic waste, that we left behind or something, that, places where people can't go. And it was one of the most beautiful islands I've ever been to.
Really?
It was absolutely amazing. It was so pretty. And what kind of even made it better, some of the people that I used to work with on that random island in the middle of the British Indian Ocean were from the Philippines, and they were in Subic Bay when we were there. And because I wasn't expecting anything, I didn't have plans to get off the ship. But when we found out he was there and working as a taxi driver, I was like, hey, come down to the port. There's going to be people here. There's going to be lots of work out of the port today, because I guarantee this.
Yep.
And then I was trying to hook him up with a certain group of people, and that fell through. And I was like, all right, Steve, we got to get dressed, because my buddy's coming here, and I promised him that he was going to have a fare. And now that's not happening, so we're going to be his fare. And then when we were leaving the ship, we ran into another one of our friends who didn't have anything planned that day. So I was like, hey, come with us. We've got a private tour in a taxi cab all day. And he took us around and just showed us all kinds of really neat stuff. We saw bats, we saw monkeys, we saw some really incredible resort areas. We saw, there was a memorial for all the people. After the U.S. Navy left, there were thousands of people who volunteered for months to keep that base running until they could get paid people into, so it didn't fall apart. So they could all that infrastructure. And there was a memorial. I mean, they didn't die while they were keeping it up, but there was a memorial with everybody's name on who volunteered. So we got to see, and a bunch of the local history. There was a Spanish gate there. Gosh, I'm trying to remember everything. I mean, we must have had 8 different stops in that one day. So that was a nice surprise.
That would be.
That I wasn't expecting. So my husband really liked Eastern Europe. I mean, all of Europe, but Eastern Europe in particular. A lot of the places around there still have the old city walls, the fortifications.
Yep.
So we could walk on top of them and just see everything. So made a great vantage point. Oh, and we got to see the place where they filmed Game of Thrones, King's Landing.
That's cool.
Yeah.
Yeah. How many ports of call were there over the course of 9 months?
It was over 60 countries. Um, I don't
Jesus.
think I have the actual number. I think originally it was supposed to be like 175 ports. I'm not even sure if that's correct though. Um, I'd have
And
to
how
do the
did
math. And
was there some that you got off by yourself, or that Steve got off by himself, or did you
yeah,
guys always get off together?
no, there were some. Well, there were some where we planned to get off together, and he got grumpy and decided to go do something else. Or somewhere, there was a couple of places where the tours were like super expensive, or the one he wanted to do was super expensive, and it didn't really mean a whole lot to me. Normandy um,
Yeah,
was one of those. So I did something else that day. I had something else booked, and he did his own thing that whole day, and
got
that
it.
was it wasn't worth paying $200 for me to go and be bored. So
Yeah, I
most of
get
the
it.
time we went together.
And had how and obviously you can skip this or you can share something, anything, nothing. How is relationship stuck in a room for 9 months on a cruise ship with your spouse?
So I'd already mentioned that we were both used to working camp jobs, right? So we're both individually used to living in fairly confined spaces.
Yep.
So his condo where we had been living up until when I got back from Guam and before we went is only 830 square feet with one bathroom. So it really wasn't all that different.
Got it. Well,
And
that's
also,
good.
well, I mean, there's something to be said for having that closeness too all the time. I think I recorded a video on Valentine's Day, and as a joke, how do you keep the romance alive when you're doing this sort of thing? And I
Yeah.
think the major point of the video was to touch the butt.
Got it. Hey, it's the little things. It's the little things that matter.
Yep,
All
you
right.
can't really
Well,
give away.
yeah. As far as all the ports and is there a particular day or experience or port that changed your outlook on the world? Something that changed your thought process about something, or just stuck with you that you weren't expecting?
I don't think any particular place did. Um, well, no, actually, that's not true. So the original itinerary, I'm not sure if you know this or not, but it had to change because in January and February of 2024, we were originally supposed to go through the Red Sea, and there was some stuff happening to commercial vessels, not just like military or cargo ships, but they were shooting at ships that had people on them.
Yeah.
So Royal Caribbean had to decide way before we ever got there if we were going to do that or not. And I think from a risk perspective, they decided not to. And then we all got the opportunity to go either a fast way around Africa or go the slow way and make more stops and see more things. And the vote was to go the slow way. And I don't I don't think I ever would have gone out of my way to book a cruise around Africa. Definitely
Yeah.
want to go for a safari more than what I've experienced to this point. I'd like to do like a whole week kind of thing.
Yeah.
So that really changed my perspective on a lot of what we think about Africa. Um, and we really saw a lot of both sides. We saw a lot of really horrible poverty that was just heartbreaking to see. And I'll actually bring that part to, if you haven't seen the Netflix documentary By Now, where they talk about all of the clothing that gets donated to these countries, it's literally strewn around. Just the amount of trash is just unbelievable in some places. And in others, in other countries in Africa, the government is actually doing a lot to help their own people. And super refreshing to see that. I'm going to call it out to Angola, which is, from what I understand, the richest country in Africa.
Okay.
None of that money has made it down to regular people. Zero.
Zero.
Zero. That place is, and I'm saying this, like, my husband and I, we booked a tour where we went to like 5 or 6 different places. And so the bus we were on, we were driving all the way through the countryside. So it wasn't just one place or one city where we saw this. It was all through.
Yeah, it was everywhere.
I mean, it was in one town technically, I guess, but it was everywhere around the outside of that town as well. And some other friends had booked a private tour, and the first place they were supposed to go to other places, but the first place they went was a resort hotel with a blocked off beach, and they were like, "Yeah, let's just stay here. We don't care about seeing anything else. This is relaxing. This is what we want to do." So they didn't see what we saw at all.
Yeah.
The Walvis Bay in Namibia was the exact opposite of that. We did a couple of different things on that tour. We had the same guide throughout. He actually took us to one of the townships outside of Walvis Bay. Township is what I would call a shanty town, and
Okay.
that's both in South Africa and most of the other African countries. If they were talking about, where everybody's house is metal corrugated stuff,
Yeah.
that's a township. And I didn't know that at the time. But anyway, we went to see one of the townships in Namibia, and again, because we work in overseas locations that are sort of combat related, you get to get a feel of the country by how much trash is around. And the entire drive through, the hour drive from the port to Walvis Bay to all the other places we went, I don't think I saw any trash, like anywhere.
That's impressive.
The kids, because we saw some kids going to school and coming back. We stopped at basically a kindergarten daycare center too, so we got to meet some kids there. Even the kids on the street they're wearing white shirts, and there's dirt, and they're clean. Like, I could not manage that. I don't know how they did. And
Right.
they're in cute little school uniforms and stuff. And there's definitely there's some real infrastructure there, and part of it has to do, I think. Well, they also have there's a mine nearby, and I'm trying to think. I want to say it's uranium, but I'm not sure 100% if that's actually what it is. But it's not like gold or silver or copper. It's not a metal. Is uranium a metal? I don't know. Anyway, but there's some highly skilled work available there. It also has a very kind of obvious German, like, there's a lot of German influence in that country. Also, as opposed to Angola, which seems to be largely Portuguese. And this is kind of true of South America too. When you go to different countries, you can sort of tell anyway, which European country influenced their growth over the last 100 years based on how well people live. You could tell there was a difference in poverty based on what colonial influence they had, I guess. That's the best way to put it. And
you said it was Namibia?
Namibia was the one that we were really impressed with.
Gotcha.
The township was amazing. And the guide explained a lot to us. So, like, when they opened up the mine, there was like this big call from the government to bring everybody out to work there. And then there weren't enough jobs, but the government's still making a lot of money off of that, and they are building homes for all of those people. It's going slow, but it's happening.
And when you compare that country to Angola, I mean, they're the same. It's the same Africa, isn't it? Or isn't it the same land? I mean, like the same climate, the same. are they different in ecosystems completely, or are they same and they're just clearly ran completely differently? One is a disaster and one isn't.
I would say because they're ran completely differently. The guide that we had in Angola talked about the several different, the last 3 or 4, you know, administrations that they've had through there have been incredibly corrupt. All throughout what we were seeing when we were driving around were largely unfinished buildings because that have clearly been abandoned for a long time.
Right.
And what she explained to us, and again, Angola is supposed to be the rich. I don't know what kind of mines or what natural resources they have there, but if they're the richest, I imagine that's from whatever natural resources. Namibia doesn't have the same. So I guess they're not, I mean, obviously they're different culturally, but as far as the natural resources, they're at least somewhat different.
Yeah.
It's just who are the natural resources in the hands of.
Yeah, it just comes down to corruption and just fucking evil.
Well, and so what she was explaining to us about all those unfinished buildings was that I don't know if it was a president or prime minister or whatever they called their leadership, because I've slept since then. Their daughter was the one who was in charge of the banks, and their son was in charge of all of the building programs, you know. And I'm making that up. I don't remember what, but it was a family member for both sides, and everybody was taking money from everyone else, and none of it was going back into the country.
I got you. Yeah, that's something that I mean, I think it's cool that you guys got to go there and experience all of those things, even the good and the bad. But I can only imagine seeing that with my own eyes, that it would definitely have left me with a feeling that I would remember. You know,
mostly because it's overwhelming and there's nothing you can do about it.
Yeah, seriously.
You know, it's just like it. That's what makes it heartbreaking, because there's nothing. I mean, I can buy a $5 necklace off this lady for $10. It's not going to make a difference in her life.
Right, exactly.
It's, you know, maybe for a day, but yeah.
But in the big picture, yeah, that would be pretty mind blowing.
So that definitely changed my perspective. I don't know that I had a real perspective. I mean, I've seen movies and TV shows that are based in South Africa, but you know, from a media perspective, that's kind of all we get to see. And I did live actually in Libya for a very short period of time.
Yikes.
During the Arab Spring, so that's why I left. But Northern Africa is still a little bit different than places on the West Coast or the East Coast or South Africa or whatever. It's not all the same. Culturally, they're very different.
Did people freak out about your blonde hair?
Not that I recall.
No.
We did have one of the women who was in our social media group also had long blonde hair, and she's about 20 years younger than me. So we did a few tours with her in India, one in particular in India where she was getting some creepy attention. So
yeah.
Steve actually was like blocking her view from some people who were filming her in a very creepy way.
What?
Yeah. Well, I mean, because they were trying to be sly about it, you know?
Yeah.
Like they weren't really filming her, but they were. So every time they moved, he just stood in between him and her because it was bothering us.
That's hilarious.
Yeah.
Well, and I think that, you know, there's got to be a ton of people, that, me included, that, like I already asked you, what that's like for a marriage to be, you know, in that cabin and on the cruise for 9 months. But like you said, based on how you met and the lives that you've led for so many years, I mean, it literally was nothing. It didn't impact you the way that it may impact.
It was a change, but it wasn't a major change at all.
Yeah.
Yeah. So,
got it.
I just wanted to do a pause so you have an edit point there. My husband did come back.
Okay.
Would you like to see him?
Sure.
He gave me he's like, hold on just 1 minute. Oh, you got a button your shirt?
Well, yeah, it's got to be presentable. Give me a
My
little-
God, clean yourself up.
We can keep talking. He can come over and join if you want, if you have other questions.
Well, I was just getting, let's see, I basically have, I have like I had some rapid fire questions.
Ooh,
Um,
those are bad. He's good at those.
Hello.
hello, sir. Nice to meet you.
You too.
Steve, welcome to the Listen Motherfucker world.
Yeah, you got a good name. I like that.
Is it like looking in a mirror?
Not too much, but yeah, I don't have that so much. So
That's one of the reasons why I wanted to get him on camera.
Got it. Yes. Yeah. If I would have known, I would have shaved, and we could have just been twinsy.
no, don't shave the beard, man. That's a rite of passage.
Man. All right. Well, so some of the things that I've asked her, and that you may have just heard that what it's like to be in that cabin and to spend 9 months, not just in the cabin but on a ship, and how that is for a marriage. And we joked about Valentine's and making sure that at least there's a butt touch and some miscellaneous stuff. But she was saying that basically, how you guys met and where you have been in life, that it really wasn't a big deal. I mean, of course it was a change,
No.
but it wasn't really a change.
No, because these accommodations were a lot nicer than what we previous had in said locations.
Yeah.
So, the ship was nice, and that was the whole thing about it. There was always something to do, even if you just went up to the Crown Lounge, which is the big kind of an observation area up in the top. Just go up there and sit and look around, and and just relax. It's always something.
Tam and Bobby, the couple that I mentioned earlier, they had a living room
That was
there.
their living room.
So they
Got it.
they had their own couches, and that was their spot
Yep.
every day, and they spent most of the time there. So if we, you didn't even have to ask where they were; they were just always there. So,
Yeah.
And could you tell that other passengers, guests, whatever, that they would start to realize that was kind of the routine and they would respect it? You know what I mean? Did you think that kind of
occasionally
happened?
people would get on the
Yeah.
ship and
Yeah.
they didn't know, but for the most part, yeah, everybody knew that was their
Yeah.
spot.
And they
Was
usually
not.
they usually got there early to claim it anyway. So
Yeah.
Yeah, true. Did some people not stay the whole 9 months? There was a rotation of people.
We
Yes.
didn't even talk about that.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, we didn't even talk about it. I made the assumption that this is a whole bunch of people that have the balls to just say, "Hey, let's do this for 9 months."
Well, there were a whole bunch of people, but it wasn't the 2,000 that you might be thinking.
no,
So when the tickets originally went on sale, they would only sell the entire 9 months.
Mhm.
And then when it wasn't selling out, they decided to cut it into 4 segments.
Got
And
it.
then you could only buy one of those, and the segments were anywhere from 30 to 60 days.
Yeah.
And then when those weren't selling out, they broke it into 17 individual sailings, which were all about 2 weeks.
Oh,
So
man.
Yeah.
we would have new people come and go about every 2 weeks. There were, oh gosh, this is a whole thing, okay, because there were only about 660-ish of us that did the whole 9 months.
Okay.
And you could still book each individuals of the 17 sailings, but you didn't get things that were included if you did it that way, because it was like 35 grand cheaper. So you could save a whole bunch of money, but you didn't get free internet. You didn't get access to the laundry rooms. You didn't, there were a bunch of things that, you didn't get the 7 wonders of the world.
right.
You didn't get those.
Or the 4 other ones.
Oh yeah, and they added, for each one of the 4 segments, they had some kind of special excursion for us, and they didn't cost us any extra.
Got
You didn't
it.
get those either.
It was all included.
So what Royal Caribbean did inadvertently was created first class and second class passengers. which also caused a lot of friction.
Yeah,
Uh,
yeah.
I can
The laundry
imagine.
room was the biggest conflict.
Yeah.
Yeah, we briefly talked about the
Yeah,
laundry
okay,
room
okay.
Nazis,
No,
and
that was an unsolicited verification of that little story. It's
Yeah. So we were never interested in buying less than the 9 months. So I think when we first booked, we could have booked a segment if we wanted to.
mhm.
We couldn't have done the 17 sailings, but a lot of people who did book the whole 9 months, when they found out about how much cheaper it was going to be, they canceled and then rebooked to get,
But not
and
realizing they were going to lose a lot of those
yeah,
right,
benefits, a lot of the goodies.
yeah.
yeah,
But
So,
that's they saved money because they weren't prepaying them up front.
and,
So that
and
was the trade off.
we got a whole bunch of other like free stuff. So,
Mm-hmm.
they, before we left, they sent us a whole bunch of like World Cruise branded stuff, commemorative kind of things, keepsakes.
Yeah.
yep.
We got free raincoats for the
Yeah.
the weather. What else did we get?
Well,
Pretty-
the big thing also was the big gala the night before the sailing.
Yeah. Oh, so it also included free first class, business class
Yes.
airfare from wherever you were to Miami.
Yeah.
We elected not to do that because I have airline miles and it wasn't that far from Houston. So
Right.
we opted out of that, but we still got two free nights at the, was it a Hilton property?
No, Intercontinental.
Oh,
It was,
Miami Intercontinental.
yeah.
And they had a huge gala dinner for the 660 of us that were doing the full 9 months.
Yeah.
And
That would be cool.
it was all kinds
It was
of
really neat.
quote unquote free stuff
Yeah.
that we paid for.
So even though that we all know that both of us are anti-bullying,
Yes.
it would be almost impossible, with my personality at least, to not know that I'm a full-timer and to not look down my nose a little bit at these part-timers.
To me,
I'm just being honest.
to me, it didn't make any difference. I mean, but at the same time, I'm sorry that you aren't getting this perk, but it's not because we're better. It's because you didn't pay for it.
Yeah,
You know?
literally.
Yeah.
Yeah. Well, and then there again, a lot of it comes down to like being on a regular cruise. You know,
Yeah.
to get a drink package, you got to pay for it.
Yeah.
One way or another, you have to compensate to receive that benefit.
So
Yeah.
And so that, along with the internet, so those were the two of the big ones, and the laundry room, of course, which is kind of an unusual one.
I
But,
forgot to mention that one. The unlimited drink package for everyone who did the full 9 months. That was
Mhm.
another one of the perks.
Yeah.
Like you never ran out of drinks.
No.
Ever.
No, if there's a bar open, you get a drink.
Yeah. Now,
Wow.
we did have to pay for the Starbucks stuff, right?
No, because it wasn't
Oh, because it wasn't a branded Starbucks.
right. They served Starbucks products at the Latitude
Cafe Latitude. Okay.
And now if it would actually been an actual Starbucks,
Then we would.
that wouldn't have been included. Some of the newer, bigger ships have an actual Starbucks.
Oh,
and
wow.
that's not included. It's like the specialty dining.
Yeah.
But it's just a little bit separate. So
Got
And
it.
we still got tired enough of the food that towards the end we were doing specialty dining a lot more
Yeah.
often than we were in the
Yeah.
beginning,
yeah,
just to have
Yeah.
something
and
different.
wherever we stopped, that was a big thing.
Oh, yeah.
You go out and you eat when you hit shore, so you get something other than the ship food.
Which is also unusual for cruise ship passengers because normally they make a point of eating on the ship so they don't have to spend extra money when they're on their shore excursions. And we were probably about the middle point, we started doing the opposite. Everybody wanted to get off the ship to eat something else.
Well, since you brought it up, what's some of the best food that you had off ship and the worst?
Rio, we had some fantastic beef.
Oh.
The huge steakhouse we went to, and I mean, and there again, it was one of the special. It was a trip to the Price of the Redeemer, and then they had also planned a lunch for us at this restaurant, which was a steak restaurant. Oh my gosh, it was fantastic. They just kept bringing out food. They kept putting trays of steaks. You would like to start trying to put. I've already had 3. I'm done. I can't do anymore.
And
I'm done.
The guide was telling us now you get your lunch, but you only get 2 alcoholic beverages.
Yes.
So don't they would not stop pouring wine
Yeah,
either.
yeah.
So apparently somebody forgot to tell the wait staff that we were only
Yeah.
supposed to have 2 drinks.
That's hilarious.
But we all had a great time.
We had a fantastic
We had a
time.
fantastic time.
But there was so much neat stuff around the world that we actually ate. It was all interesting.
I don't really remember eating anything horrible off the ship.
No, not off the ship. No.
But on the ship there was?
Oh, no. It was just the same menu. And there again, I'm sure Leah mentioned, in the places that we worked with the military, they had a 28-day menu.
Yeah.
And so that's the menu that they stuck with every 28 days. Did get the cooks would start getting a little creative with some of the stuff, but for the most part, it was a standard 28-day menu, which being on a cruise for 5, 7, even 14 days, you usually don't repeat. But we repeated. And after a little while, the food was fine. They did a fantastic job of cooking. It was just, you know, how you get tired of the same thing.
You're just wore out.
And there were some things that were rotated more often. So
My biggest beef was at one point, about 6 months in, I started a fitness program, and I needed to order off the menu to, I just need grilled chicken breast and a salad. That's it. And
they were always wanting to add more to it.
I pre-ordered, I don't know how many times, and after a week straight of not being able to get food, in even a remotely timely manner, I finally just asked one of the staff, I'm like, what am I doing wrong? How else should I be requesting this so I actually get it? And she's like, you're not doing anything wrong. And then after 2 or 3 weeks of it, I finally had to give up because it was just, let's just say I got hangry a lot because...
Oh, no.
Because I was also supposed to be doing intermittent fasting, so there were only certain times I could eat, and I just gave up. It was too hard.
Apparently, Steve and I need to have our own segment where you're not sitting here so that we can talk about hangry times on the cruise ship.
Don't worry, I had my share too. So
yeah. So one of the things that you missed, Steve, I asked her, if there was a couple, 1, 2, 3, whatever. Obviously there's got to be a port of call that stands out as just being incredible. Something that you will treasure those memories or that experience or whatever. She mentioned Antarctica, wishing that she could actually get off and be able to stand on it. You know what I mean? But
very surreal.
Are there any that stood out to you?
Wow. Of course, Italy, seeing Rome was amazing. Fortunately, I'm sure she discussed the rerouting of the itinerary that we had to do around Africa. So we missed Petra.
That made me mad.
Yeah,
that was the number one reason I wanted to go was to see Petra.
Yeah.
And we missed that one because of the rerouting.
But we also missed all but one stop in Greece. Not to mention more of Eastern Mediterranean, which we still really want to see. But Greece, the one stop we had in Greece was beautiful, but it wasn't
Santorini, nor was it Athens.
No. So, but still beautiful, but that stood out. But for one,
Malta.
Oh gosh. See, they were all just so fantastic. They're individual. It's like, I never had kids, but I hear people talking about their different children, and which one is best? Well, they're neither one of them is best. I love them both, and they do great things among themselves.
Yeah, they're different. Yeah.
Yes, they're different. So, and that's what it was for me. Croatia was beautiful. Went to Split.
Yep.
Dubrovnik. Oh, yeah, just so much. The terrain is beautiful. The history is amazing. And
did any of the ports, were you able to stay the night? I mean, did anywhere you stayed at this particular port for 2 days or longer than 8 hours, or you know what I mean?
Yeah. Not very many, but
there's only a couple. Yeah, only a handful. Ravenna, Italy was one. What's the other one I'm thinking about? Barcelona. Spent the night there.
Rio. There was somewhere in South America we did too. Somewhere, I want to say Brazil.
Oh no! It was. Now I'm drawing blank on.
I'm going to tell the
Argentina.
Oh, okay, somewhere in Argentina.
Yeah.
Ravenna was really nice. So this is kind of another thing that happened. So everybody books excursions when they go on cruises. Some people do them third party. Some of them do them with the cruise ship. But over time, people got sick and had to leave, or had family crises and had to leave, or
Some left, but then came back later.
or got tired and didn't want to do their excursions. So because Steve and I didn't have a whole lot planned for the last part, everybody was like, "Hey, I've got an open spot on this tour. Do you want to take it?" So that happened a lot from the last 3 or 4 months of the cruise.
Yeah.
And
Nice.
when we were stopping in Ravenna, we happened to be eating lunch to another couple that was friends with us, and they were supposed to go to Bologna, take a train from Ravenna to Bologna and spend the night there and do see all the history stuff there. And just like the day before, they had some kind of family crisis and they needed to stay on the ship and couldn't go. They were like, "Well,
It was the other couple that wasn't able to go, and the couple we were going with was there at breakfast.
Now they had nobody to hang out with.
Yeah.
And everything had already been paid for, so we were like, "Sure, let's go."
Let's go.
Run
Let's
up
do
to the
this.
cabin, packed a little bag, and took off.
Yeah, and we had the best time.
Yeah. Yeah. Well, there was plenty of wine involved, so
There was. Well, that
That
was
helps.
the tour. That was
it was
the tour.
It was a walking wine
It was
tour
a
around
walking
Bologna.
wine tour and then when the tour guide dropped us off at the meeting place, we found 3 other places to drink wine before we made it back to our hotel room. So it was awesome.
And then it ends as a falling wine tour, a stumbling wine
Staggering,
tour.
yes.
Yeah, staggering wine tour. Huh.
But no, it was awesome, and we met so many great people. That was really seeing the world was one thing, but fortunately, the group that was on there, they were all the adventure spirit.
Yes.
So that's everyone kind of bonded around that. A lot of different backgrounds, a lot of different nationalities. There were so many different nationalities on the ship, but we had such a great time with so many different people.
And do you feel that most ports of call were welcoming? The citizens, the locals of most ports of call were all pretty welcoming. You didn't get bad vibes or any of that?
Except for Amsterdam, which
Yeah.
I'm still pissed off about.
But still, the people that we actually saw in town that we would meet,
Oh, yeah.
they were all nice. Of course, all the shop owners, they're very welcoming to have the business coming off the ship.
Yeah.
But as Leah mentioned, there was a little bit of a snafu as we were going through the locks into what was the name of the river?
Amsterdam. Oh, I don't remember.
Before we got into Amsterdam, I can't remember which river it is. They have locks coming in off the ocean
Okay.
to go on up in. So they have, otherwise the river would be too shallow for them to have ports. So we got to the locks. You want to take it?
6 people shut down the entire port of Amsterdam for a week.
For 1 week. For
All
how?
cargo, all cruise, because they were protesting
Cruise ships.
I guess. But cargo couldn't make it in or out either.
Why wouldn't they just remove the 6 people?
Why wouldn't they? That's a really good question.
And what they did at the locks, they came onto the actual gates because there's walkways across the top of them.
Yep.
And they would just stand there on the gates and not get off. So they couldn't operate them. I'm agreeing with you. Well, isn't there some kind of law enforcement to make those people move?
Exactly.
And so there was law enforcement, but they don't make people move.
Yeah.
They just
Wow.
try to talk them back onto shore.
Yikes.
And
I wouldn't.
we missed one of the most beautiful places in Norway because of that. Because we tried to get there early in order to come in under cover of darkness, but that didn't work.
Yeah.
So we missed getting to go to Bergen, Norway, because of that. So that also ticked me off. But whatever. I don't need to go back.
Okay. Well. All right. Hey, let's try this. Finish the sentence if you can. Something I didn't tell anyone until now. About the cruise, not your personal
No,
life.
I know. I know.
Well, I mean, hey, if there's something you want to get off your chest, then go ahead. Just make it a life question, I guess.
Something I hadn't told someone.
I'm kind of an open book. I don't really.
Yeah.
We've talked pretty much about everything.
Yeah, that's.
Not just between us, but other people too. So there's nothing we.
So this isn't something that we've kept from anybody, but I can share it in that it's probably something that seems kind of unique. Almost all of us, or at least all the people that I know, went through a severe depressive episode after we got off the ship.
Really?
Yes, because think about it, for 9 months straight, almost every, and especially the last part of the trip was we had 28 days of port calls in a row when we hit Europe. And so every single day we were doing this sort of epic, momentous thing that lots of people around the world were paying attention to.
Mm-hmm.
Yep.
And then when we got off the ship, it was just back home.
You open the blinds to look outside to see if it's got a different view, but it's the same view that you went to bed. So,
I never thought about that. Man,
was,
9 months of just ever changing. Yeah.
Yeah.
It was
Well,
rough.
and she had mentioned that you guys basically fully retired, right before, and then you're off on, 9 months of an ultimate world cruise, and then you come home and like, okay, well, what's life going to what does normal life look like?
And I still haven't figured that out.
I don't think I ever figured normal out before, but yeah, it's just it's like coming off of a good a good drunk, then you got the hangover the next morning.
Yeah,
and it's like, why did I do this? Now I'm but then of course we want to go again. So
oh yeah,
but yeah, it was a big bummer getting back.
Do you have another one of these in your future, or now that you've made a land purchase, you're not doing this again?
We got more.
Oh, there's definitely more. So the other interesting thing that came out of this is, like the first part of the cruise, I had done some gambling and I lost a little more than I was comfortable with. So I kind of stopped. And then later on, I was like, well, I'll try this again, and had a little bit better luck. So I think we've paid for 2 cruises since we got off the ship, and we've had
through the casino. It's not by how much you win or lose; it's by how much you bet. They give you points, and then you qualify for the casino cruises. So we've kind of gotten into that routine. So we got several planned. Plus, September is the reunion cruise.
Right. So to answer your question about if we're going to do this again, so Royal Caribbean said that they were going to do another world cruise, and they were going to make the announcement on the reunion cruise, which starts September 7th, and it goes to Alaska, by the way. It's the Inside Passage Alaska cruise.
Yep.
And it's 100% sold out, too, by the way. Anyway, they announced about, 3 or 4 weeks ago that they've looked at it, and they're not going to make an announcement yet because it's not going to happen within the next couple of years. They're still saying they're going to do one. But they have a couple. I think there's at least one more mega ship that needs to get finished.
They just finished
the Star.
Third one.
Okay.
And then the reunion cruise. The reunion cruise is that 660 of you full timers that are.
Not everybody's making it.
Not everybody signed up for it.
But that cruise was actually open for bookings prior to them announcing it to us.
As the reunion cruise.
Yeah, and we were still on the ship when they announced it. So, the next cruise. Location where you go to book your next cruise on the ship. Of course, everybody got up there and started booking it. So we actually booked it before we got off the ship.
Got it.
Back on the Serenade again.
Right.
But
so
but they got another class of ship that they're looking to build.
Smaller ones.
Yeah, more in the lines with what the Serenade's the Radiance class is.
Because you need to have a smaller ship, one, because you're not going to fill it up because not everybody can afford that, and also, 2, you need to be smaller to get into some of the ports.
Yeah.
You can't get those mega ships into all the ports that you would do in a world cruise.
No.
So.
How much does a 9-month cruise cost per person?
So the starting price was around $60,000 for an interior room per person, which, considering, gym, internet, food.
Oh yeah, I don't.
Drinks, all that stuff. It's really
9
not
months
that
is a
bad
long
of a
time.
price. Yeah.
Yeah, and going around the world, you're not flying from place to place and having to do all that travel time. You get on the ship, you enjoy yourself. They open the door the next day, and you're at a new place, or you're still sailing. Got seat time. So
obviously, money well spent.
Oh,
you believe so? Yeah.
My catchphrase is 10 out of 10 would do it again.
Got it. What's the most expensive thing you bought and you didn't need?
So far, it's a rug. That's probably what she's going to say. Yeah.
A rug?
It was in India. It's a hand woven rug, and haven't pulled it out of the packing yet since we wrapped it up there, but because we're waiting to put it in the right place.
That makes sense.
Can I do plugs at the end?
You can do, yeah, whenever you want.
One of the questions I always get asked is, what do people ask you the most about? So your favorite, your not so favorite, things that were different, and also, how do you afford that? Like, how do you pay for something like that? And because I was getting that question a lot on my social media stuff, I actually interviewed, I want to say, about 8 different passengers, only one of which who wasn't doing the full 9 months. Everybody else I interviewed was doing the full 9 months. And once I pull my head out of my butt, I'm going to finish writing the book about how to afford a world cruise.
Got it.
And I got so jazzed about book writing and doing all that other stuff. I'm starting a publishing company. So
that's exciting.
If you want to write a book about your podcast, let me know. I'll publish for you.
Well, I'm actually thinking about writing a book about the electric lie. I've wanted to do an episode called The Electric Lie for a long time.
Like Tesla?
What's that?
As in, like, Tesla's like electric lie, or what are we talking about?
No, the electric lie is, without getting into it really, it isn't pointed at Tesla. It's pointed at trying to make the country, the world, trying to make people feel that electric car is the solution to climate change, which it isn't.
Yeah.
Correct. I agree with you.
And so what continues to happen, especially now that I have such a good relationship with my best friend ChatGPT, that I have done deep dives. I'm up to like 40-something pages of, because I've talked about hybrids and not just a hybrid car, but a hybrid cruise ship, a hybrid bulldozer, a hybrid piece of equipment, a hybrid everything is an actual solution. Mm-hmm. And then that led to ethanol or biofuel, and that corn is an okay biofuel, but algae is the best. And just so I geek out so much on diving into the electric lie that I'm like, at this point, yes, I am going to do an episode about it. I need to write a fucking book because, when I go through all the notes, and I know this sounds ridiculous, but I will literally have a question or a sentence, and when I put that into chat, it will give me like factual basis, right? And then I'll grab a piece of that and say, well, and I'll copy and paste. I'm like, yeah, but what about this? And so every Thursday, my wife goes line dancing. She loves line dancing. Every Thursday, we go for a couple hours. I'm not anti-dancing, but I sit there and geek out on chat, watch her shake her ass every few minutes, and then I'll go back to geeking out on chat and come up with just
it's so good that you're participating.
Yeah. So I might actually take you up on that, on a sidebar of what that looks like and how that works and
so
all of those
the
things.
Publishing company, and I don't know, you may or may not want to put this in the show.
I was going to.
Okay. Well, the name of the publishing company is RFW Enterprise. So it's rfw-enterprise.com. I'm getting the landing page and all that stuff set up right now. I should have done it a month ago, but I haven't yet. So I was really glad when you said you're going to edit it, so you're not going to publish this right away. That gives me a couple other days to finish it.
The red face whore.
Hey, that's where to go.
The chair behind you.
Yeah, I want to know where to get a chair like that.
Seriously, I paid $250 for this at Home Depot 4 years ago during the, as you lead up to October. So everyone starts putting out all their Halloween decorations.
Oh, yeah.
This was just sitting in Home Depot.
Oh, wow.
Okay.
I may have to go back by there.
Yeah. So it sat on my. I would just put it out on my porch. We live in a. We're the neighborhood that all the other neighborhoods around truck their kids to our neighborhood,
Yeah.
Oh,
and
for the lights and stuff.
Well,
yeah. So
Yeah.
I
Oh, for
would
the
just
candy.
candy.
Yeah.
Yeah.
yeah I would get a wheelbarrow and I would fill it full of little bags of chips and stuff from Costco, and I would sit in the chair and hand it out. But
That's cool.
when I decided to start this, I'm like, well, I guess I have a new purpose for the chair. It doesn't have to
There
sit
you
in
go.
storage
Yeah.
for.
The Aussie throne.
Yeah. Yes. All right. So let me think. We'll do a pause for editing purposes. So I think we've covered. I think the only other rapid fire question that I had that I was going to ask you: did you ugly cry at any point during your trip?
Yeah.
Did you have any kind of breakdown in 9 months while you were on the cruise?
I did.
Yeah, more than one.
No, just one.
You
I'm not
don't
sure
have
if
to tell me about it.
I'm not sure if I want to say why.
Yeah,
But
you don't have
yeah,
to.
I won. It was bad.
And Steve, how did you handle this?
Uh, Once you go, there's no staying.
He didn't even know. He didn't even notice I was
No.
crying.
No.
Did
And he didn't have anything to cry about.
No, I didn't.
in 9 months, did anything on the cruise ever piss you off, Steve? Did you have to talk yourself down and
Can I
convince
plead
yourself?
the fifth on that one?
You what?
Can I plead the fifth on that one?
Okay.
I'm sorry, Senator. I do not recall.
Yeah.
No. We were going on one particular excursion, and we had booked it as basically a private excursion, along with about a third of this rest of the ship.
Yeah. So it was only supposed to be 4 people.
Yeah, yeah.
And it
400.
wasn't. Yeah.
So we get out. Everybody starts getting off the ship with the same thing in mind. Well, where's this? And there's one guy. So okay, the buses are coming. What are you talking about, buses? And there was one that was really delayed. So I started getting really irritated to begin with. And then there's a lot of elderly people standing out in the sun. I can't remember what country it was.
It was Italy. It was Bari, Italy.
And it's taken so long. 2 buses showed up, and so the people loaded onto those buses. But you still got our bus, which was another large group of people standing in the hot sun. And I felt it, and finally I decided I just better not even go. I'll go walk by myself. So
Yeah.
One of the tour guys started sassing like
well,
bad.
no, he was trying to calm me down.
And in a totally backhanded wrong way, because Steve's like,
Yeah.
I'm done. Stop
And
talking to me.
He approached me. I'm leaning up against a railing, with my back to the water, but he came up to me and decided to continue the conversation. I'm like, dude, just walk away. Just walk away, and it will stop.
Yeah.
But he did.
Get away from me.
He wouldn't
No.
shut up either.
He's trying to do the psychological part to talk someone down. I'm like, dude, that's not working. I know what you're trying to do. It ain't working. It's making me more pissed off. Just go.
So he ended up walking around Bari, Italy by himself, and I
Great
got on a bus and I went to somewhere in Eastern
yeah.
Europe, and I got to see a castle built into the side of a mountain and some caves that were just unbelievable. And he missed the whole thing.
But I got to walk around Bari. I walked 8 miles around Bari that day. And
By yourself and enjoyed
myself.
every bit of it.
I enjoyed every bit of it. There's so much neat stuff there. I found an old Roman amphitheater, but I did meet up with another couple from South Africa that we knew from the ship, and I ended up having coffee with them, and then finished coffee, and I walked back my way, and they walked around there. It was just nice.
He also did
Yeah.
a beer around the world thing.
Yeah.
So
Any place we hit that had local type beers, I'd have to try it. And
Were they good?
Yeah, majority of them were. There was some that were okay, but still they weren't terrible.
That's good. Yeah.
I've
Never
had,
in the history.
I've had a really couple of bad beers here in the States, so there's nothing that went that low. So
Yeah, I'm not a drinker, so I don't know good wine or good beer. But what I do know is that I'd rather have an ice cold Corona with a lime hanging out of it than I would some IPA that tastes like I just licked the bottom of
See,
a farmer's
it's
shoe.
like looking in a mirror.
I'm
It's like
not
looking
I'm
in a
not that
mirror.
fond about IPAs. Too hoppy for me.
Yeah.
That's that tasty. I like
Yeah.
the ambers. I like the darker beers with the full body flavor to them. And then there again, I've had some good ones. I've had some that weren't that great, but yeah,
Yeah.
all good.
Yeah. I think that in the history of calming down, telling someone to calm down has never resolved the fucking problem.
No.
No, we've gone from me being upset to now we're approaching a nuclear meltdown.
You've made it personal now. Just walk away. Just walk away.
To be fair, the whole rest of the tour was something you would have hated. So it was kind of good that you took yourself out of it.
Yeah.
Because there were a lot of long lines and things that didn't go exactly like they were supposed to.
Yeah.
So,
Yeah.
That's
We
tough.
have realized that going on excursions, we don't like the bus tours. So
No, I wouldn't
we
either.
just ride around in a bus. Oh, there's that. There's that. Oh, here's this.
I want to go walk around.
yes.
Yes.
Even if I could only walk around for an hour and a half, I still just want to go walk around.
Yeah. And a lot of times that's what we did after about the midpoint is when we started
Canceling.
Actually, a little before that.
We started canceling a lot of excursions.
And doing finding something to do on our own or just getting off the ship and just walking around for a little while.
Well, that leads me to one of my last questions, and that is, if you do it again, what do you do differently? What did you learn that you know would make the next time better?
I'm going to book all of our excursions through Viator because when we came back, actually after our last cruise in May, I became a travel advisor. So I get commission on it now.
Nice.
So, and I won't book anything through the ship because I don't get any commission on that. But also, it's way easier to be flexible and do things on your own when you're booking third party.
Yeah.
The only risk is that, sometimes you don't make it back to the ship on time.
Yeah.
But if you're going with the right people, you don't have to worry about that.
Yeah, and any of the Viator trips we've taken
It's been amazing.
Amazing, but also no problem getting back to the ship on time.
Yeah.
So that's the only thing. Booking through the ship, that's the saving grace on it is that if for whatever reason your tour gets held up, the ship will wait for you.
Or if they can't wait for you, we'll get you to the next port on their dime as opposed to you.
Got it.
Yeah, that's the benefit of paying for it. But again, you're paying a premium for it. And which, we did that, that was some of the places, that was why we did it, was we wanted to make sure that we were back to the ship. But for the most part, we never had a problem with any of the ones we booked.
I would also prioritize meaningful experiences. There were some things that they were really too expensive because we were literally prepaying for an entire year of our lives, which is
Right.
it was a lot. So we skipped out on some things that I think we probably should have, bit the bullet and paid for. And there were some things that we missed. So I would, a lot of people that were on the cruise did these, what's called independent journeys. So you had to have permission because there's difficulties with visas and cruise ships and how you enter the country and how you exit.
Yeah.
So a lot of people, when we left Dubai,
from Dubai going around. That's when we had to go around Africa as opposed to going through the Red Sea. So that changed.
Yep.
We flew to Africa and did like 7-10 day long safaris.
Yep. Some of them went to Petra,
And some of them went to Petra. Yeah, some of our friends went to Petra without us.
The nerve.
Bastards.
They had a blast too. But that was nice. They got to do that, but what we chose to do was just go and stay on the ship and go on around Africa.
So I would prioritize, if the ship doesn't stop somewhere I really want to go, to get on a plane and go there and do more independent journeys. That's what I would do differently.
Yeah. The nice thing about staying on the ship at that point, we basically had a ghost ship.
Oh yeah.
There was not even half the people on the ship were on it. So we had it great. We could walk up to any venue, any bar, any part of the restaurant. So nobody was in line. So of course the crew didn't like it because they got bored.
Right.
But we loved it. It had the whole ship to ourselves, basically.
And then when everybody got back on in Ravenna, Italy, because
Yeah.
that's where we kind of met up with the
Yep,
original
yep.
itinerary, we got very angry at all those people getting on our ship.
Yeah, and they were just taking like the individual crews as
Yep.
it went 17s that were booked. So, but you know, because it was our ship. What are you doing? This
What
is
are
our
you doing? Yeah. Hey, I have a VIP card. I'm not
Yeah.
standing in line.
You'd see these people walking around. I mean, day one from whatever port we just left, they're walking around like, "Where's such and so? Where's the buffet at?" You know?
Oh,
Yeah.
another interesting thing about this cruise is even up till the very end, we were still meeting people
Yeah.
that had been on for the entire length of the cruise that we had
And
never met
and you were
before.
just meeting them.
Yes.
Yeah.
Every time we did an excursion, almost every time we did an excursion,
Yeah.
we would meet
Yeah.
somebody that we had never met before,
That were
that
on
had
for the
been
full
on for
trip.
the whole time. So that was kind of cool.
How many places stood out that when you got back, when you were there and you got back on the ship, you were like, I think I could actually live here.
Oh, several.
Yeah, there was a couple.
Several.
New Zealand and Australia come to mind right
Yeah.
off the top of the bat.
Yeah.
Um,
There's a couple of places in Italy.
yeah,
Um,
Italy for sure.
yeah.
Eastern Europe.
Yeah.
There were a
A
lot.
lot.
Yeah,
A
there
lot.
were a lot.
Yeah.
And
There's a lot of
Well-
different places.
actually, some of the places in South America too.
Yeah. That's what I was thinking. Buenos Aires, and that's what I was talking about earlier. We stayed overnight in Buenos Aires. It was a lot of neat places. Just beautiful, beautiful countries,
Yeah.
and each is very unique.
Now you getting to see why the depression happened. Like,
And that was just the first quarter of the trip.
yeah.
First 2 months. Yeah,
Yeah.
going around South America.
It really would be quite the strange transition to come home and to just be,
Yeah,
I mean, it
same
was,
place every day.
yeah,
So
yeah.
this may or may not. I'll try and tell this kind of quickly, but because this may or may not be something you want to cut out too. There's my pause. Because of the TikTok fame that started,
Yep.
in the beginning, there were several companies that were actually thinking about doing a reality show and coming on the ship. And
Got it.
they reached out to some of us. They didn't originally reach out to me, but I did get their information at one point. But there was a kind of split in the social media group. Some people wanted to be a part with this company, and some people wanted to be a part with that company.
Yeah.
And by the time we got around South America, we had a meeting with one of the companies. They kind of had set up at a restaurant not too far away from the port, and met with a bunch of us.
Mm-hmm.
Actually recorded some video with one of the passengers.
Yeah.
It ultimately, neither one of the companies could get funding to put the reality show together, but that was our almost famous.
Yeah.
So
It's
you were
sort of
going,
going.
you were fine with doing it. You would have absolutely done it.
Yes, I would have.
Yeah, and see that there was two different styles they were looking at. One was the reality show style, and the other was more of a documentary kind. So the reality show, they were wanting to see the dirt. They want to spill the tea, as they kept saying.
Yeah.
Well, that's as groups were talking about.
Oh,
Getting the
well-
tea. That's what they said on TikTok.
To be clear, the companies we were talking to were not saying that, but
No.
other people were saying that that's what they thought was going to happen or whatever. So, but within the two companies, the company that wanted to do the documentary was like, well, we can only have a max of like 5 people. Well, I wasn't the most famous TikToker by a long shot, so I knew if we went that route, I was not going to be included. So the other company was willing to do more an ensemble thing and include everybody, and so we had a conversation with them.
Yeah.
Didn't pan out, but it was nice.
It was
I almost
exciting
got
to
it.
think about.
Yeah, I almost got to be on a TV show.
Yeah. That'd be cool.
Yeah, maybe it would have.
Yeah, maybe.
Would you have changed your name?
Probably not.
No.
I mean, what's
Just
the
being
point?
you.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Names have been changed to protect the guilty.
even if I had, it wouldn't have made any difference. I mean, Google knows who I am, so I mean,
That's true.
Yeah.
just
Yeah.
I mean, just
Yeah.
take a still shot and search, and you'll
SKI.
find me. Yeah.
That's true. Well, did you get all your plugs in? Did you plug everything? I mean, you said you were retired. Doesn't I mean you're starting a
Oh.
publishing company? You're a travel advisor. You're a financial advisor and planner. So it doesn't sound like you're retired to me.
Okay, so I guess when I say retired, I mean I don't have to make money from any of those things to support myself,
Got
and
it.
I don't have to work for anyone else. But I am still fascinated and intrigued and interested in doing lots of things, trying lots of things, and doing lots of things, and so that's where I'm at right now.
Got it.
So Frugal Vagabond, everybody knows that, and then rfw-enterprise.com, and I should have a fairly decent catalog within the next couple of weeks. I'm still working on my launch strategy because it's really just me. But I probably wouldn't mind getting info from your friend in Bangladesh.
Okay. I can
when
make
I
that introduction for sure.
Yeah. For when I start
I will
doing
do
videos
that.
again.
Yeah, and after I retired, I just became the trophy husband.
Yeah.
Duh.
I've been pimping him out in my videos since the beginning.
Yeah.
I don't suppose you saw the sexiest man competition videos?
I missed that. Obviously, I need to backtrack and go find it.
I'll send you a link.
Yeah, you need to, obviously. So Steve had his own nickname on the boat, obviously.
He did.
Yeah.
What was it?
I don't know what it was, but you had your own nickname.
I don't know.
Got it. Well,
That guy. I don't know.
the world doesn't shrink when you travel. It expands,
No.
right? And sometimes so do you in all the ways that matter.
Yep.
So thank you for coming and along with this cruise through memory. I appreciate that.
Oh, thank you.
I'm gonna watch the rest of the Venus thing so I can hear about her cruise because I didn't quite get to that part yet.
God, yeah, there's some good stuff in there.
Okay. I really appreciate the opportunity to come do this. This was nice, and for letting Steve join for the second half.
Yeah.
Of course, it wouldn't have been complete. Steve, you complete us, and I appreciate it.
Well, I had to run out and take care of Mom a little bit, so you know.
Well, I spent a half hour trying to fix my computer as I was just nosediving in this entire venture in the first place. So I appreciate your patience, Leah
But
B.
it's fixed now. No worries. You're good for the next one.
Perfect. All right. Well, it'll take me a couple of weeks to get all this.
Perfect.
You know, it'll take me a couple of weeks,
That-
but I will send you a link and I'll reach out and let you know, and I will go through and figure out how many edits we got and how many little things that
All right.
we need
Thank
to
you
cut
very
short.
much. I've really enjoyed this.
Thank you very much.
Until I do something again really big that I need to talk to you about.
Perfect. See ya.
Take care.
Bye.
Thank you.